All right, welcome back. It's update day. Update day. That's a tongue twister. Update 1.0.2.31. Took us all by surprise, so I'm here to go through it with you, tell you what I'm doing, how I'm adjusting my strategy. Gashero is all about adapting and moving in the right directions and making the most use of each all the time. Also, can we just take a second? I don't know if everyone has like these FSL merch, but like that's only meant to be lit up when you're like hot. Well, I'm hot and sweaty. Not so much hot, but I'm hot and sweaty. But it always calls me out. It just indicates. I've got a fan on behind me. You can probably hear that. And I'm still sweating up a storm. Anyway, let's get on to it. I'm going to use the thread that the amazing Tatiana did. The Ice Queen herself did an amazing thread that kind of walks through all the update information, because on the actual game itself, I opened it, read it, and now it's gone, so I don't know where to find it. Anyway, lucky for Tatiana. Thank you, Tatiana. If you don't follow her, make sure you do. She does some phenomenal Gashero content. Very informative. So let's run through it. There is the first one off the board is heroes can only be unlocked after being locked for 24 hours. This, to me, there is some debate, and I need to find out myself if it's to do with selling, like, because obviously before you could breed, sell straight away. So I don't know if it's a cool off period to do with that, or if it's only in relation to Genesis heroes. So, because obviously with Genesis heroes, you can lock them and then unlock them. With normal characters, you can't. So I need to clarify that one, but for me, I feel like that's just in relation to Genesis heroes. Obviously, some people moving and changing and pushing them around, so they need to add that in to obviously adjust for that. You can challenge them. Okay, so it's strength. The occurrence of epics and legendary heroes, weapons, pets will be locked. So I won't go through all of this, but pretty much it's just the gist of it is that legendary and epics you can no longer get or use. And I think reading through this thread, they've seen like a bit of a strength divide, is the best way to put it, where some people are just like crazy strong, and then some people who aren't. It's obviously, maybe they just wanted to bring that in a little bit. So, because a lot of these updates are kind of to do with that. And after watching the wars last night, there was a live stream with James and Chonky. If you haven't seen that, make sure you do. It was good fun listening in on that. But there was definitely some squads where I was like, damn, Daniel. Damn, that's crazy. There was some really strong squads, especially some where there was like full epic squads taking on full epic squads. Pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy to watch. I'm sitting over here with my comments and I'm like, cool, I'd be a toothpick to you. But it was just, I guess that was an indication that maybe they wanted to just narrow the field down. The only other thing I could have saw them doing is maybe adding in like, common battles, but it's almost like participation awards. I get it. I'm not strong. You don't need to adapt for me. I'll just try and do what I can with my commons, and I'll eventually get strong. I'm just doing it. I'm learning the game. I'm enjoying like the process of not just buying big to start off with, but like kind of earning my way there and like seeing all the levels of it. I used to enjoy that with Steppen too. I was so grateful with Steppen that I started with like 1 to 3 commons and like grew over time. It made me kind of appreciate every aspect of it, if you know what I mean. So again, I'm doing it. It's definitely like, it would be more fun just to throw down and, be the big old strong man in the guild and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm enjoying the process. We have reduced the output of Auction House based on the community feedback. I don't know if that's to do with it already happened, because we obviously saw in beta testing, if you're in beta testing, obviously there's like, you had a lot of items. And obviously when the game rolled out, it's reduced to how strong your guild and clan and stuff like that is. So based on, your guild strength, the amount of items you got, and it was kind of a scale. I don't know if it's reduced further, but I'm definitely going to pay attention to that. And I'll obviously do more episodes where we'll touch in a little bit more on that. But I honestly didn't have a lot of items in my auction house, and I hadn't been paying much attention to it, to be honest, because we kind of have a chat where we communicate and we're like, I'm going to bid on this one, I'm going to bid on this one. And all the good stuff had dibs on it well before I'd even noticed that it was there. So I'll pay attention to that, obviously, going forward to see if it was a further adjustment to the adjustment, or whether it was just acknowledging the adjustment that already happens. All individual PvP adventures levels now have minimum strength requirements. The requirements can be seen in the in-game UI. A player can acquire higher strength with better heroes, weapons, pets, and stronger skill trees, which I'll run through in a second to kind of give you an indication of what that means. The energy provided by base vehicles is reduced. This is a big one, so I'll show you in a second, but I went from 40 energy to 29.5 based on 2 things. And Tatiana didn't actually indicate the other one in this, I don't think. I read through it earlier, and I most common because obviously the base has been reduced now from 30 to 24. And if you aren't familiar with that, obviously when you settle down, you get a mandatory 30. Well, you did get a mandatory 30 energy, but now that's been reduced to 24, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it's obviously one less battle per day. So you've got to count that into your maths when you're sitting down and you're working out, okay, what's my strategy? Obviously, having 6 less energy per day is quite a big, thing to take into the adjustments. Along with that, and I don't think Tatiana did, because I've actually read through this a few times, your heroes. So your heroes, if it was a common, used to provide 1 energy, but now they've been reduced. So commons were 1, uncommons were 2, rares were 3, epics, which no longer 3, blah, blah, 4, 5. They halved that. So for common heroes now, rather than getting 1 extra energy per day, you now only get 0.5, which explains why I went from 40 energy to 29.5. Obviously, taking 6 away from the base would take me to 34, but obviously I'm at 29.5. I have obviously 11 heroes, 6.5. That takes me down to 29.5. So that explains that. So they're the 2 adjustments. If you're looking at your energy, because my first thought when I looked at the game today was like, did my heroes expire? I was so confused. I was like, why is my energy so low? Like, did my heroes expire, or did I misjudge how much time I had left? But no, it was just obviously due to these updates and stuff like that. But I'll run through like kind of how I am moving forward, because obviously these adjustments, a lot of us like getting towards the end of our common heroes' lives, especially if you started right at the start, and you have to kind of adjust. And I'll kind of give you an indication based on a few things in this update that what I'm taking into consideration now moving forward and how I'm kind of adjusting my strategy to suit. A hero without a pet will receive 100% more damage. If the hero equips with a lower rarity pet, the damage received will still be higher than one equips with same rarity pet. Hero without a pet will receive 100% more damage. I think that's meant to say hero with a pet. Without a pet will receive... Oh, they'll receive more damage. Okay, sorry. Miscusi. A hero without a weapon will have 60% less damage. If the hero equipped with a lower rarity weapon, the damage created will still be lower than it. So it's pretty much just saying, like, if you have a uncommon hero and you have a common weapon on it, it's just going to show the effects of that. So you really, what you want is, if you have, say, a rare hero, you want a rare weapon and a rare pet with it. You know what I mean? Like, the rarities to suit will give you the best bang for buck for that kind of hero. Otherwise, I'm assuming there would be no effects if you had an uncommon weapon on a common hero. You probably wouldn't do that, like, let's be honest. But, it's just something to take consideration. Obviously, looking at this, I'm assuming they'll be added to the white paper. You can kind of go, okay, so I'm going to put a common weapon on this one, get less effects, but then you can kind of unequip that weapon. Obviously, it will be burnt, but you can equip a weapon later on in its lifespan as well if you kind of just want to have something at the start to kind of offer up something. Weapon quality common in lower than hero quality. Okay, so it kind of indicates with the little eye that they've added in it anyway. We are also working fair competitions. So this pretty much just says they're looking to add more, I guess, skill-based. So they're obviously seeing that at the moment there's some very dominant guilds and clans, and just in general there's some very strong teams out there. So obviously they're just looking at how they equal it a little bit, because you want everyone to be involved. You don't want to, like, obviously go, oh, this common squad went up against this, rare squad and they beat them. Like, that shouldn't be possible. But obviously just narrowing down and making it more strategic based, where, you look at, like, even last night you saw like some guilds go into the battles. Guilds? Clans go into the battles. Guilds. I'm having a moment. You see him go into it, and it was like, definitely you saw the ones that put the thought pattern into, hey, I'm going up against this like team. How do I better strength? Like, I see there's a weaker player in this position. How do I put a stronger player in this position to kind of, or a weaker player to take them out? Because that was the interesting I found last night. So, like, even if you had, say, an epic squad take on 2 common squads, it's almost like you want to sacrifice your weaker ones to their stronger ones. So, because obviously once that epic squad wins 2, they're out. You know what I mean? So you almost like could look at it and go, okay, so we have a team here where they have one very dominant, strong character. Do we try and battle that with our 2 strongest clan, like 2 strongest teams, or do we just sacrifice the 2 weakest ones and then use our stronger ones to take out their weaker ones, if that makes sense? So obviously they're looking at that and going, how do we bring that more in? Because that's a great part of the game, being able to like adjust, look at who you're going up against, and then be like, ooh, okay, I see they're strong here, they're weak here, and then obviously they're doing the same. So it'll add a real good gamified kind of approach to the whole situation. But anyway, let's quickly jump over to the game and have a gander at what my plan is, because I actually did a weapon fragment earlier, but then I realized my audio wasn't working, so I had to re-record it. You know, all good things are done twice, right? So I've obviously got 75 left. I did do a weapon fragments, and of course I said all I don't want is a dagger or sword. I end up with a sword, but it's fine. I obviously have to equip a sword to probably my tanks anyway, so I'll have a look at that. But now I've got like two lines and a sword, which isn't bad. It's not bad at all. I kind of knew in my head I'd end up with a dagger or sword, which is a frontline weapon eventually anyway. But I was kind of hoping for like a backline, like a book or a bow or a gun or something like that to equip to my support character. But I think with my new strategy now leading into the next 20 days, a sword probably makes sense, because what I was going to do, if I quickly head over to my heroes, my original plan is, well, I'm on that one. Go to all. My original plan, drag. Oh, no, that clicked. So you got to click, drag. A few people gave me a hard time on this. There it goes. See, it works sometimes, okay? So this is obviously my little squad that I've got for my next 20 days that I've been working on. I was originally, before this update, was going to do 5 characters, 5 weapons. But I think now with the emphasis being put on pets, I think I'm better off doing a squad of 4 heading into the next 20 days. And focus on getting weapons. So obviously now I have 3. I'll end up with 4 weapons. So all characters I have a weapon. I will wait to sell my character until I see what the next weapon is. Because if, say, for example, I get another sword and like a sword or a dagger, obviously I could either go sell that extra hero, sell that weapon to get the weapon I need, or I could just say, hey, I have like I'll end up with a damage, well, they're 2 damage, 2 tanks, and a support. So I wouldn't mind keeping my support, but I would kind of then go, well, what about if I just set my dagger and my sword to my frontline warriors, keep my damage as my second line, get rid of the support character. As much as I'd love to have her, I just feel like she may not make the biggest difference than, say, damage in the second line will, if that makes sense. So if I've only got 4 characters, there's kind of no point, like the damage being dealt is probably going to be more than, say, the support is going to offer in support, if that makes sense. Like, supports really make sense in a back line, but they're not really, like, they're supporting your current team. And if your current team, you say if you have, like, uncommons or something like that, it would make sense, because you just want to keep, like, topping them up, let them just rip through the other team. But when I have commons, I'm probably better off having more damage characters or more people that can, from the second line, deal more damage than it is probably having a support. So depending on what I get, I'll make that assessment. But I think now I'm going to try and do 4 characters. But my calculations will quickly do this now. I only have 4 and a bit days. So we'll base it off 4 days, just because I like working off the lower end of things. So I have 4 days, 23 hours left. So practically 5 days, but we'll say 4 days. I have 10 energy, so I'm going to end up with now, we'll round it up to 30. I've just said to work on worst case scenario, but 0.5 away, with the extra and stuff, it's going to be 30 per day. So we say 4 days, that's 6. You know, 6. Each battle obviously costs you 5. I'm getting 6 per day. I've got 4 days left. 6, 12, 24. 6, 12, 18, 24. Jeez, basic maths gets you. Obviously 24 energy per day. 24 per day. That's right. Yeah, 24. No, what am I doing? Yeah, I've got 24 left. Jeez. So if we take that into consideration, obviously each day I'll have 6 battles. I'll have 4 days left, which means I have 24 battles left. I only need, technically, to get another weapon, I need 15 more. No, 25. Sheesh. It was, okay, I ran in the sun today. Clearly it affected me. But 25 left. So if we take a step across, because obviously that was the other big thing that's changed as well. What I can achieve in these battles hasn't changed, but the level has changed. So I was at easy 4, but now I'm at easy 3. It's still 7 to 8 at easy 3. It's just being decreased, if that makes sense. So obviously they've brought the top end in a little bit, which has obviously compressed the lower end, which, you know, looking at, they still look the same, 4 to 5. They've obviously just kind of compressed things a little bit. I would love to reflect back, like, is 2, which one has gone from there? I think 3 has gone from there. They've obviously just compressed that somehow. I'm just, having a bit of a blank. But I can still earn 7, 8 per day. So I need 25, obviously 7, 14, 21, 28. It's going to be 4 battles, thereabouts. If I get some 8, obviously that's great too. So that's going to be 4 battles. That almost takes a day out of it. But then if you go over and you look at pets you can earn a lot more. So obviously you still need, like at an easy 3, I'm assuming I'm going to hit easy 3. It's still 19 to 24. Weapons are only 7 to 8. 1924, it's literally one day and you earn a pet, like in my mind. Because if I can do 6 battles a day, it's only 4 of them goes to getting a pet. So I'm thinking I look at maybe getting 2 pets and then just spend the rest of the energy for the other 2 days acquiring HP potions. So XP potions, obviously, to level mine up. So that's kind of where my head's at, because I think going into the next round with weapons equipped to all 4, pets equipped to 2, then I can look at XP potions. That kind of leaves a day or 2 at level 3. So it's only 5 to 6, but that should leave me enough to get, it should leave me enough for 4 characters, because now I don't have 5, I only have 4, to get them to level 10 at least, and then focus on getting the other 2 pets in the first 5 days, along with getting my heroes up to level 20. So I should, in my head, and from the maths I've done, in the first 5 days in the next 20 days, be able to get my 4 heroes to level 20, equip them with weapons and pets, and I'm hoping that gets me up to 5, which should put me in a much stronger position to be able to get those breeds out a little bit more. I'm hoping it gets me to 5, because that should be a stronger team than what I currently have with 6. So we'll see how it plays out. I could be completely wrong, but in my head, that makes a lot of sense. Anyway, let's wrap this up. It's been, 16 minutes? I'm sure you're just like, dude, shut up. It's how I roll, all right? But guys, honestly, pleasure. We'll check back in, because I've got another weapon to do, and I'll obviously do the pet as well. It might be tomorrow, it might be the day after. Either way, get out there, keep learning, keep growing. This game's only fresh, only new. The more you know, the more people you listen to, the more you learn, the stronger you're going to be and be able to enjoy it more. It's about strategy, it's about learning, and it's just about growing within the game. Just keep doing your thing, keep grinding, and keep absorbing all the knowledge you can. And please tell me, Shannon, do this. Maybe if you know I'm going to make a mistake, feel free to reach out. I don't mind. Really, I don't mind. Anyway, peace.